Love. Love can mean many things. Love is a symbolization of two couples or two individuals that are so in love with each other, they want to be by their sides for all eternity. Love has many different meanings, and many of these beloved characters display that type of stuff when it comes to these wonderful couples. And yeah, I can clearly see that because there's so many couples out there. There's just some that is definitely worth talking about. But of course, I thought that, hey, since since we're in the month of love, well, technically not anymore because, well, I was supposed to get this video out very, very soon. I'm here joined by a special guest of mine.
How is it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy FDE, Future Damon, everything if you will. And we haven't actually talking the first time. This is actually the first time I actually talked to you guys in like a good year. Yeah. So how are you guys? But we'll get to that soon. But love is powerful.
That is indeed true, my brother. Also, where the were you, man? I had this video planned for like months and we were supposed to get this done on time. Like, seriously, you couldn't even bother to show up?
Hey, I was busy with college and family problems, okay? You can't blame me on that one.
That's no excuse, you lazy bastard!
Lazy? Okay, let's talk about the amount of videos that was supposed to come out. Lazy? Where were you with all the amount of videos that you're gonna put out? Where's Mega 2K Combat Tales? Where's updates about the game? Huh? Lazy? You're the lazy bastard.
Touché.
And what about Super Mario Gotcha first, huh? What happened to that update, huh? We didn't see a single episode for months. No, matter of fact, a year. Whatever happened to that? What? Huh? You can't speak now, can you?
Yeah. I won't argue with that one either.
Oh, and what about that Q&A video that you announced at the beginning of the year? Huh? What happened to that? I thought you were supposed to get that sooner.
Yeah.
Oh, also, what happened to the Let's Plays? We were supposed to get that sooner too. Jesus Christ, man, if we were going to be getting 2025 off of a bang, you could have done these things sooner. But no, we're in the month of March. Almost April, mind you. And now, we still didn't get no fun videos from you. Huh? Whatever happened to that?
Yep. I gotta get it now.
Also, whatever happened to Rise of Bowser Jr. Ever 31, huh? What happened to that series? I bet you didn't even put that one out either, huh?
Yes. Thank you, Damon. I think we all understand now.
And what about the Five Nights at Freddy's retrospective? We were supposed to get that either last year? 2023? After we seen the movie? Jesus Christ, man, pick yourself back up and stop being a lazy bastard!
Alright, I get it!
Anywho, it's time we pick our top 10, or in this case, top 15 best couples in anime and video games. Now, this is my personal list on who I think are the best couples, and I'll definitely give out my personal opinions on why I think they're the best. Now, here are some ground rules for this top 10. These characters need to be official couples. They can't be like love interest, or they can't be no shipping or no fan hookups or nothing like that. They have to be 100% in love with each other canonically. Also, because of this, we're not including characters that a lot of people would ship, but they actually have no romantic feelings for. So if you guys are expecting something from Mario, Sonic, and Mega Man, then I gravely apologize because we're not including any of those. Oh, and that also means I'm not including Persona either.
Man, this is some bullshit! Boo this man!
With that being said, let's go ahead and finally start this list, shall we? Okay, so let's kick off number 15 with one of the strangest couples in video game history. Nine the Phantom and Jubei from BlazBlue. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wait, a human lady is hooked up with a cat? And before you ask, yes, Nine hooked up with a cat. We made the jokes already. Moving on. Anyways, Yeah, so Nine and Jubei, they are two of the 6 heroes, and they're legendary warriors who teamed up together to defeat the Black Beast, who was running rampage all over Japan. Nine is one of the 10 sages who's very powerful with magic. Meanwhile, Jubei is the last of his kind, as he's the last beastkin of his clan. But yeah, the two had their relationship wasn't too much, but by the time after the Dark War, Nine and Jubei ended up finally hooking up with each other. They got married, and Nine gave birth to their daughter Kokonoe. Then a whole bunch of crazy stuff, which is so complicated, I don't think I should probably explain it. It just happened, and yeah, the relationships started to feel a little rocky, but at the end of the day, these two really do love each other, because you could tell in the Blaze Blue Cross Tag battle, these two do love each other, because Nine is so flirty with Jubei, always complimenting him and talking about how she's always fallen in love with him all over again. Meanwhile, in the story mode, when Nine was complaining about having to participate in a ping pong contest and she just wants to go back to their honeymoon, Jubei was like, look at you getting all upset over something so unimportant. Nine looked like she was about to roast her husband for saying that, but Jubei was like, look, it doesn't matter if we're in a fancy resort playing ping pong or just relaxing in a spa. It's getting to spend time with you that's important to me. And that's kind of sweet and wholesome. I really dig this couple. Okay, number 14. Let's get to one of Marvel's strangest and yet coolest iconic couples of all time. Gambit and Rogue of the X-Men. And I kind of dig this couple. I mean, I haven't watched that many X-Men sources, but I could tell these two do make a great couple, because it's very unlikely that you see someone who was a thief and assassin, who was, basically doing his own carefree lifestyle until he decided to join the X-Men and fight for a better cause. Meanwhile, you have this girl who was going through an existential crisis, having a hard time bonding with other people because of her powers, draining the life force of others. It's very complicated, but at the end of the day, when these two first met each other, well, it kind of seemed like these two wouldn't get along, but as the series went on, these two would become one of the greatest couples of all time. Just seeing them flirting with each other and just being all lovey and dovey, it's just so wholesome, and they make a great team, not gonna lie. Number 13, from a Marvel couple to a DC couple, let's probably go to maybe one of the, this is my one and only LGBTQ spot on this list. Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn from the DC Comics. Now, I mean, listen, I know this is one of the most iconic couples of all time, and I can see why, because, well, I think these two are made for each other, because, listen, Harley Quinn has to go through so much being constantly abused and used by Joker, who she was in love with at first, but Joker does not care about Harley, let's face it. But by the time Poison Ivy rolled into her life, like, Poison Ivy, she treats Harley with a lot more respect than the Joker, and you see these two together. They always create some great plans together. Their bonds is just so amazing, and you could tell in the TV show that they really do love each other. Like, I just don't know what to say. Like, I'm not too much of a DC fan, but all I can say is that this is definitely one of the greatest couples, if not the best. Number 12, here's another crazy couple that you would not expect to see. Kazuya Mishima and Jun Kazama from the Tekken series. Tekken, we all know, is one of the greatest fighting games, but if there's one thing we could take from this franchise, family bloodlines suck. Especially the Mishimas. Like, I don't know, what is it with the Mishimas and their whole family constantly trying to kill each other? It is just a chaotic, insane ordeal. But if there's one thing you could take from this franchise, is that Kazuya and Jun, although their relationship is kind of weird, they do make such an interesting couple because you got Kazuya, who is one of the most evil people in the whole world with a goal to conquer the whole universe just for the sake of it. Meanwhile, June is like a wildlife protector, just trying to do everything in her power to protect the animals and just live a peaceful life. How could you see someone like these two get together? Well, mostly because Kazuya was poaching animals during Tekken 2, which led to June having to fight him. But eventually the two got really close together, and then years later in Tekken 3, June gave birth to their son, Jin Kazama, and we all know how this whole thing goes down, but still, the fact that these two actually got together is just shocking and yet amazing.
Number 11, we are going from DC to Cartoon Network relationships. Hooray! And this time, we got Rigby and Eileen. Now, Rigby and Eileen's relationship was somewhat chill, I guess you can say that. And not only that, Eileen was always supportive of Rigby. Rigby at first didn't really care about Eileen, but towards almost the end of the show, you can really tell that Rigby actually did care for Eileen and actually did love her.
Alright, number 10, probably one of the most interesting anime couples of all time, Guts and Casca from Berserk. Now, this one is such an interesting couple because, well, here's the thing. When Guts and Casca first met each other, Casca hated Guts so much. Like, her hatred for Guts was just unreasonable. It's mostly because Casca was in love with Griffith at first because, well, Griffith respected her and all that stuff, but ever since Guts showed up, Griffith started getting more attention towards Guts because he was one of Griffith's best soldiers, and Casca kind of grew jealous of that, and she always thought of Guts as the most reckless person ever. But only after these two ended up getting like alone with each other, Casca finally vented out her frustrations and stuff, and her backstory, which was pretty sad, by the way. She and Guts had suffered throughout all their childhood, but at this rate, they started to grow a little attached to each other. Casca started to warm up to Guts, and then eventually the two really ended up falling in love with each other. And they became one of the greatest couples of all time. But, of course, there's a certain segment that ends up ruining this couple, but we're not going to get into that. Probably we'll have to save it for when I do my Berserk review. But, yeah, this couple is pretty great. Number 9, we got probably, in my opinion, the best couple in Mortal Kombat history, Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade. You know, it's kind of funny that these two actually got with each other, considering that in the original timeline they weren't lovers, but now they officially are, because Johnny Cage is this big Hollywood movie star who, you know, just doing his thing. He's so egotistical. Meanwhile, Sonya Blade, who's a super soldier, like, she works for the military. She just wants to get payback against Kano, responsible for hurting her partners, all that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's kind of weird that you see that these two would get along with each other. I mean, Johnny Cage was in love with Sonya, but Sonya did not care for Johnny at all. Well, that is until she started to warm up to him. Then in Mortal Kombat X, they started getting close to each other, and then the two got married and, of course, had their child, Cassie Cage, one of the greatest combat kids in MKX. And I really love the direction that they took with Johnny and MK11, because after spending so much time with his family rather than just being in Hollywood, Johnny Cage actually became mature, and wow, it's just amazing. Like, I really like that version of Johnny. It's a shame that the timeline got rebooted again, but what are you gonna do about it? But the point is, these guys are just great. Okay, now we have number 8 from Final Fantasy VIII, and this is probably, out of all the couples in Final Fantasy history, there's so many that I wanted to choose. Like, I was originally gonna pick Cecil and Rosa from Final Fantasy IV, but the more I think about it, I feel like these two make a much better couple. Squall Leonhardt and Renoa Hartley from Final Fantasy VIII. Now, why do I think these guys make a great couple? Well, it's kind of like similar to all the other couples in the previous entries. Like with Squall, he didn't care much for Renoa. Like Renoa is such this very lively girl who just wants to have a good time. She wants to get to know Squall, but Squall was not interested in any of that. He was just going with the flow and all that stuff. That whole dance scene with them was just kind of hilarious and beautiful because you see Renoa just dancing with Squall and he's not too comfortable with it, but yeah, anyways, Squall spends a majority of his time just not caring about Renoa's feelings and all that stuff, just being all emo and stuff. But it isn't until halfway into the game where Squall actually started to develop feelings for Renoa and understand what she's going through. And this is when he finally understands that what she's been going through and all that stuff. He decides to actually be there for her, and yeah, it's pretty nice. And he's even going out of his way to protect her no matter what. Such a great couple. I can't hate these two.
Number 7 on this list, we're going to the land of Disney. Yes, Walt Disney. And I mean Walt Disney Animation's 2009's Princess and the Frog. Now, if you're like me, I was a little kid watching this. I only seen this twice during my childhood. Now, Tiana and Naveen had an interesting relationship, but it all worked out in the end. Now, Tiana wanted to be is an employee, but also wants her own restaurant or bakery. And Naveen, a spoiled prince who does just not give a ultimately gets transformed into a frog himself. Now, during this confrontation between Tiana and Naveen, Tiana is kind of confused on why is this frog here and why is he speaking to me. Now, Naveen ultimately gets Tiana to kiss him, which she does, and gets transformed into a frog herself. Now, we're now on this journey where they're going on adventures. Tiana is trying to teach Naveen how to be a hard worker, and Naveen actually gives in and does care for Tiana. Now, during this adventure, we get to meet an alligator. We also get to meet a light bug, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can correct me in the comments. I think it's a light bug. And in the end, they both get married and lift the curse off of both each other, and we all live happy after. Now, what I consider is one of my favorite Disney animated movies probably is right up there with Up, because Up is one of my number 1 favorite Disney animated movies, but we'll get to that at a future point. But yeah, The Princess and the Frog, everyone. And number 6, my favorite couple of all anime, Marin and Gojo from My Dress Up Darling. Now, this is one of my favorite couples because we start off My Dress Up Darling with Gojo, who is a doll maker because his grandfather was a doll maker back in his days. Now, Gojo, not really likable. He's trying to do his best to fit in and just trying to be like this all. And I feel bad for the guy. That is until he meets Marin. Now, Marin is a cosplayer, well, trying to be a future cosplayer herself. Now, here's the thing. When Marin asks for Gojo's help to do a dress for her cosplay, Gojo kind of sees it as like, hey, I can try to help. I mean, I know how to sew because I had dolls that I can sew clothes onto. So Marin is super happy about this. And we get their first interaction while trying to get the right measurements. And I have to say, the measurement episode was kind of a little bit fan servicey. I mean, you guys can get debate on one, but I personally think that was kind of fan servicey. You guys know what I'm talking about. Overall, I feel like this couple is one of my favorite couples of all anime because it's just sweet, it's romantic, it's nice. If you guys remember, by the way, spoilers for have not seen My Dress Up Darling, episode 12, the end of episode 12, we get to see the final minutes of this episode where Gojo and Marin are on the phone and Marin says goodnight to Gojo. Gojo is already asleep at this point. And I think that was just the perfect ending to season 1. And I've only said season 1 because as they have now announced that season 2 will be in the works officially. So I can't wait till season 2 so we can really see how this story is gonna go with Martin and Gojo. So yeah, that's number 6. My favorite couple of all time. I don't know who you guys' favorite anime couple. You guys tell me in the comments. You guys tell Bowser in the comments. And yeah.
Number 5, we are finally diving into my favorite anime of all time, Dragon Ball. Alright, and Dragon Ball is certainly no stranger to having such amazing couples in the series. Now, who do I think is the best couple? I mean, there's a lot of fan shippings and stuff, but like I said, we're not doing shippings, we're only doing official couples. And here's what I think about these couples. Like, which one do I think is the best? Well, I'm here to tell you, it's not Trunks and Mai, it's not Krillin and 18, it's not Gohan and Videl, and certainly not Goku and Chi-Chi, although I do think they make a good couple. No, this spot is gonna go to my favorite couple in this series, Vegeta and Bulma. Now, why do I think these two are great with each other? I mean, isn't it obvious? It's a couple that you wouldn't expect to see, but then again, it's also a match made in heaven. I mean, you got Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans, who only cares about his pride and his Saiyan heritage, wanting to be the strongest and stuff and beat Goku. Meanwhile, Bulma is Goku's childhood friend, who's been going on adventures with him, and she's a brilliant inventor. She's really good with them inventions. Then, at one point in DBZ, Vegeta and Bulma got together and like, they got really close with each other. I mean, sure, they had their few ups and downs with them constantly arguing with each other and stuff, but they learned to get along with each other. And of course, Bulma gave birth to their children, Trunks and Bola. Yeah, alright. Anyways, yeah. Now what makes this couple great? I mean, yeah, sure, they're not the perfect couple, but they always got each other's backs. I mean, Bulma is more than happy to make all these brilliant inventions and gadgets for Vegeta, especially when it comes to training, because she knows how much Vegeta loves to spar and train, and she does the best ways to help him get stronger no matter what. And Vegeta really shows how much he cares for Bulma, as we see in the Buu Saga, where he blew himself up to sacrifice himself in order to beat Majin Buu. He was putting all of his power to knock out Toppo in the Tournament of Power. But let's not forget the most iconic Vegeta cares about Bulma scene in the Super Saiyan God Saga of Dragon Ball Super, when Beerus slapped the absolute dog shit out of Bulma and knocked her out. Vegeta had an absolute rage. When he went Super Saiyan, he was like, "What did you do to my Bulma?" I felt that. And just seeing this man get a huge rage power-up just from that, amazing scene. Nothing will top this at all. Alright, we are at my number 4 most favorite couples, and this one is actually my favorite anime couples of all time. Now, what can I say is higher than Bulma and Vegeta? Well, it's from another anime that I love oh so much, and I think it's one that we can all agree is definitely right up there in the top spot of anime couples. I'm talking about Usagi Tsukino and Mamoru Chiba, aka Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask. Now, this is such a great, interesting couple because I just love the way how it starts off, because you got Usagi, who starts out as this high school girl who's not the brightest tool in the shed. She is failing at her grades, and the first time she meets Mamoru, she just throws her test that she failed at. Is like, Mamoru's like, "Hey, watch where you're throwing that, bunhead," and then just looks at her failing grade, telling her that she needs to study, and she just gets all angry with him and stuff. It's kind of funny at first, and throughout the series, he's constantly teasing her and stuff, but of course, I feel like in the Sailor Moon Crystal iteration, he teases her like a little less, and just shows that he does have a soft spot for her. And then, of course, what makes this even crazy is that when Usagi becomes Sailor Moon, she's not the best at being a hero, but luckily there is Mamoru's persona, Tuxedo Mask, who gives Sailor Moon the confidence that she needs to fight against the enemies. And these two are just great with each other. Like, it's nice to know that Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask always got each other's backs, protecting each other. Seeing that scene where Tuxedo Mask got taken over by Queen Beryl and Sailor Moon had to save him was just amazing. And of course, if we know anything, they would eventually have their future daughter, Chibi Usa, aka Sailor Chibi Moon. But that's for a very huge future, like when these two become Neo, Queen Serenity, and King Endymion. But yeah, but I won't get into too many details with that. The point is, I think Usagi and Mamoru is just amazing. Greatest hero couple ever. Like, what more can I say about it?
Number 3 on our list is Tomo and June from Tomo-chan is a Girl. This is my second most favorite anime couple. And this is an official anime couple, not one of them fan ships or anything like that. No. This is the official couple. Now, with Tomo is just this tomboyish girl who is really beside herself with her feelings for June, but also June doesn't really see Tomo like that. With June, he only sees Tomo as like buddy, best friend. Like, hey, we're gonna wrestle like a WWE SmackDown, and I'm gonna bring folding chair into the mix so we can be in a tag team title match. But anyway, Tomo, like, I'm pretty sure she didn't really want to see June as buddy. She really wanted to just love him for him. But with June, he's hard to get to sometimes. He's hard-headed. He's like me for real. But anyways, in the end, we really do see these two come together finally. After a few episodes of just teasing it. Even June would sometimes have feelings for Tomo, but he really doesn't show it until the very end of the series. And I'm kind of sad we don't get a season 2 after this. I mean, the show is incredible. We finally get to see Tomo and June kiss each other for the first time after a fight in the dojo. And it was actually wonderful. I actually cried my eyes out to that ending because I thought it was the most perfect ending of basically modern romance anime. So yeah, number 3. Number 2 on this list, Scott and Ramona from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Particularly the movie and mostly the comics, but I mostly watched the 2010 movie. Now, the movie itself, it's pretty alright. It's a pretty cool movie to watch if you're really a nerd like me. I've watched this with the Chaos Crew, and it was really funny. It was really cool to see how things played out. But this is more particular about Scott and Ramona. Now, Scott, I mean, he's had relationships before with other girls, particularly with a 17-year-old.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, that happened. Until one fateful night, it was a party. And he finally sees the girl that he's been visioning or dreaming of, Ramona Flowers. Now, Ramona Flowers is this somewhat of a cold, calculated person who is just really doesn't care. Until throughout the movie, we really see Scott really trying his hardest to get to Ramona until, it finally does happen. We finally see Scott trying to fight off Ramona's exes throughout the movie in this video game format. Now, I'd like to remind you, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is a video game based reason why you would see video game effects throughout the movie and sometimes trippy effects throughout the movie. But anyways, Scott has to face one more ex of Ramona. And that's the final boss. I forgot his name. I'm sorry. It's been a little bit since I watched the movie. But anyways, Scott defeats that final boss, and Ramona and Scott live on forever. Now, I'm a big fan of this movie. I haven't watched the Netflix series yet. Forgive me, I will get to that sooner or later and probably get a review on that. But this couple is a cool and chill couple. I mean, yeah, you had Scott go against Ramona's several different exes, but all in all, this couple was alright. I enjoyed this couple.
Okay, before we get to my number one pick on the list, as always and as usual, here are my Bowser Jr. Fan 13 honorable mentions. Plankton and Karen from SpongeBob. Say what you will about this couple, I think these are such an amazing couple. Just Plankton doing his best to get the secret formula and take over the world is just amazing, while Karen is just being there all sarcastic and stuff and being somewhat supportive. If you've seen the Plankton movie, oh my god, what they did with them is just amazing. Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune from Sailor Moon. Another great LGBT couple that I can vibe with. These two are just lovely together. Jonathan Joestar and Arena from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Okay, I know this. I was sad that I didn't get this one on the top spot. It's just that some of these couples were way better than them, but I still think that this was a very good couple in JoJo's, not gonna lie. Koichi and Yukako, also from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Now, this would have also gotten a top spot, but like I said, there were better couples than this, but I just love these two dynamic with each other. Soul Bad Guy and Jacko Valentine from Guilty Gear. Don't need to go into full details about it, but these two are just pretty good with each other. Ethan Winters and Mia from Resident Evil. Well, what else can I say about this? It's one of the few Resident Evil couples that I think is pretty good, for the most part. Cecil Harvey and Rosa Farrell from Final Fantasy IV. Such a great couple, from a great game. Though I personally love Squall and Renoa more, I still think these two are great together. Clive Rossfield and Jill from Final Fantasy XVI. This is another great couple. Like, the story was so great. Like, just seeing these two together and getting through the hard times just really puts a smile to my face. Lloyd and Yor from Spy Family. I mean, is there any reason why I think this is the best? I mean, you got a spy and an assassin who is married to each other, and just the dynamic with each other is so great. And you gotta love their bond with their daughter, Anya. It's just lovely. Okay, and we are finally at my number one pick of the best couple in fictional history. I think this is the best couple throughout all video game history. Like, there's so many great couples out there, but this one it speaks to me. It just really does. And I can't believe I'm gonna finally reveal it, and it's gonna blow everyone's minds. But yeah, anyways, it's time to reveal my number one favorite video game couple or fictional couple of all time. Number one, Kai Kiske and Dizzy from Guilty Gear. Now, what makes this couple, so interesting is, the way it starts out, because, well, in the world of Guilty Gear, there are these biological weapons called gears, which were created for mass destruction and war, thus beginning the Crusades, which was a war between humans and gears, and it was a tragedy. And Kai, at a young age, lost his mother because of the gears, so he decided to join the Sacred Order of the Holy Knights at a young age to fight for a good cause, because, well, he's a holy Christian man, and he believes in justice and all that stuff. And then he views gears as monsters because, well, that's what they kind of were. But all that changed when he met Dizzy, who was, well, she was a gear herself, but she was not like any other gear, because unlike most gears who tend to be viewed as monsters or just cruel creatures of this universe, Dizzy, being born from the gear Justice, She's the opposite of her mother, where she is a kind-hearted pacifist who doesn't want to hurt anyone. She's just a very cute sweetheart. The only reason why she's dangerous is because of her powers that it's hard for her to control. And Kai and Dizzy fought at one point, but after seeing that Dizzy is actually no threat to the world, yet she has a huge bounty on her head, Kai went out of his way to actually protect Dizzy with all his strength, even protecting her from his rival Soul Bad Guy. Then eventually, these two, they got married, and Dizzy gave birth to their son, Sin Kisk. And after Kai became king of Illyria, basically things were going pretty smoothly. Kai was trying to help all the gears band together, because the war between humans and gears are over. He starts to see that not all gears are evil thanks to Dizzy, and starts fighting for them. And it's also shown in Guilty Gear Strive when Kai gives up his throne to Illyria and decides to let Dizzy take the spot of the throne. Like, even in his theme song, The Roar of the Spark is a pure symbolization of Kai learning to love gears, and it's just amazing and perfect and just great. You just gotta love it. And just the bond that Kai and Dizzy share with each other is just amazing. And here's the crazy thing. Dizzy was born from Justice, and Justice is Soul Bad Guy's wife, and Kai is Soul Bad Guy's rival. So that would mean that Dizzy is Soul's daughter, but then that also means...
いや、嘘だ。まさか、それが私の弟、カイ！
Yeah, it's complicated. But overall, I think this is the greatest couple. That's why Kai and Dizzy is my #1 favorite fictional couple of all time. And that's all we have for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. Damon, thank you for joining me on this epic video.
No problemo.
So anyways, tell me what you guys think. Did you agree or disagree with my picks and his picks? And let me know in the comments down below who's your favorite fictional couple in animes and video games. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, everyone.